to 100 to 1. I'm Tim, and today we're talking with Bryan Leach, president of Ibotta, and he walks us through his journey of becoming the president and CEO of one of the fastest growing tech companies in Denver. Let's take a listen. So Bryan, thank you so much for taking this time to chat with me today. It's been kind of a whirlwind to get here this afternoon. But just a real quick overview of what it is that I'm doing. So I'm doing the series called 100 to 1, where I'm asking 100 executives, high-level leaders about a significant relationship or connection that was pivotal to getting them to the position that you're in right now. So if you don't mind just really quickly just kind of introducing yourself and giving us a fast-forwarded version of from where you started to where you're at now, and kind of jump into the other questions.
Sure. I am an entrepreneur. I run a company called Ibotta. We make the largest rewards app in the App Store, so we pay people cash back whenever they shop online or offline and buy everyday items. I started out the son of an entrepreneur. My father was working at a car dealership in downtown Nairobi, where I was born. We moved from Africa to the United States. My father was an entrepreneur, built a business in the storefront of a mall in Atlanta, Georgia, and grew it over 20 years into a successful company. As his son, I had a chance to work there and kind of got the bug. And then years later, I had a chance to start my own company and was able to surround myself with some folks who really understood how to do that. And now we're about a 600-person company based in Denver, Colorado.
Awesome. So that is, I was talking to some of my friends that I was coming out here, and I said, oh yeah, I'm talking to the president of Ibotta, and every single person that I talk to have the Ibotta app.
That's good. I like to hear that. I'm glad.
So every single person has the app, and just kind of following you on LinkedIn and other social media sites. You guys are top rated for best places to work. How is that? What do you guys do for that?
Well, it's based on a survey of your employees, and so it's really about the experience of working here from their perspective.
Yeah.
We have a very specific culture. It's not necessarily for everyone, but we try to live up to the values, which are integrity, boldness, out-hustle, teamwork, transparency, and a good idea can come from anywhere.
Okay.
Spell out the word Ibotta.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
we try to be clear about our values and how we live those values, and I think that's one reason why people select to work here and end up being happy.
Yeah, fantastic. So the next thing I'd like to ask you is, in your version, how do we know each other? I remember how we connected. I would just like to hear from you how.
Yeah. I remember you were an aspiring entrepreneur. I don't know if that was your side hustle at the time or if that was your primary job, but you reached out. We met on a plane.
Yeah.
We were sitting on a plane next to each other, and we struck up a conversation, and I encouraged you to reach out and talk about things entrepreneurial, and you did. You took me up on it, and you came in and told me about your idea that you were working on, and I advised you a little bit on that, put you in a couple of conversations with a few other people, and then we just stayed in touch over the years. And unfortunately, you moved out of Colorado.
I know.
But I've been rooting for you ever since.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And some of those relationships that you connected me to are so very vital, very important. For example, I have a conference that I'm hoping to do here in a few months. I think you got me in touch with Chris over at Galvanize.
Yeah, Chris.
And so we're able to work that out to do that over there. So let's get to the main question. So the main question is, so you're the president, CEO of Ibotta, a very successful technology company here in Denver, Colorado. And for somebody from the outside looking in, it's like, man, tech CEOs are like celebrities nowadays, right? It's like, man, I want to celebrities, big, small, and it's a very kind of aspirational, how do I get to that? And so the question that we're asking is from a relationship standpoint. I just wanted to ask you, if you look over the course of your career from where you started to where you are now, can you remember or identify a significant relationship that helped you to get to where you are today?
Yes. So back in 2011, I was a partner of a law firm, and I had never gone to business school. I didn't have any savings. I didn't know how to write code, so I didn't have a prototype. I'd never done anything entrepreneurial. I just watched my father, but that was it.
Yeah.
And I had this idea, though, for a single starting point for all commerce. And it was really bothering me that I hadn't had a chance to kind of really pursue the idea, but I didn't know how. I didn't even know how to build a business model or how to raise money. My wife encouraged me to go out and talk to a man named Larry Sonsini. And Larry Sonsini is this really larger than life figure in Silicon Valley. He was Steve Jobs' personal lawyer for 20 years. He was closest confidant, advisor. He took Apple public. He also took Facebook, Google, and Twitter public.
Wow.
So he was kind of the lawyer behind all of these famous companies. And I immediately said, I'm going to go talk to Larry Sonsini. He would sit in his office, and even if he said yes, I would have nothing to say to him. I don't have anything to show for my idea. And she said, just go talk to him. So I wrote him an email, and he was gracious enough to visit with me. I sat down with him in his office, and he said, so you're a lawyer just like me, right? You're not enjoying your practice? And I said, no, I'm enjoying it, but I got this idea that's burning a hole in my head. I got to do it, or I'm going to regret it.
Yeah.
And he said that you probably should keep your day job, because you want to stay married.
Yeah.
Right? But what's your idea? And I said, single app, you can shop everywhere and get cash rewards. And he said, well, that sounds interesting. If I were to help you raise $1 million, would you quit your job? And since I had taken up his time, I just instinctively just said, oh yeah, I quit my job. Thinking, we're not really going to raise $1 million.
Yeah.
How are we going to do that? And I didn't know how to do that or anything involved in that. And he said, well, we'll do all your legal work for you, and my firm will invest the first $200,000. And you can use my name. And if it doesn't work out, don't worry about it. We'll do something else together some other time. And I just couldn't believe my luck that this guy was so generous. Wow. And he knew that as a risk-averse lawyer, I needed to hear that part about if it didn't work out, my life would move on.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, I went around and I started learning how to raise money. I didn't have the right financial model. I didn't have the right material. In my first investor pitch, I was even told I was wearing a suit, and I looked completely out of place in Sand Hill Road, and I should never wear a suit again. Just didn't know any of it.
Yeah.
Right? And I think with Larry's encouragement and just using his name and his track record, kind of trading on his reputation, it gave me that nudge that I needed, and I was able to raise the money that I needed to start the company. And then all throughout the journey of Ibotta, whenever something came up that I hadn't dealt with before, whether we were thinking about buying a company or getting acquired by a company or raising money or just really anything, whose money should we take in terms of growing the company, I just was able to give him a call. So he's probably the most important person in terms of my entrepreneurial journey.
Fantastic. And one thing that I heard in that story was kind of the initial maybe fear or inhibition of, hey, this is a big guy, what do I have to tell, what I have to show, what I have to ask him, but you still went ahead, you did it. And I think that intentionality, that courage, that boldness to be able to, and I think boldness, part of the themes in the company is very critical, that if you identify somebody or somebody is made known to you as like, hey, this is going to be beneficial, to you, don't let the inhibition stop you, right? Be bold, make that connection, send the email, make the phone call, meet them at the location or whatever it is, and you never know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we met, right?
Yeah.
Sitting on a plane together. I think, to be clear, I want to make clear that I also reached out to 5 or 6 other people, and they didn't write me back.
Right.
My favorite example, I went to go see Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn. I called his assistant. I said, I'd like to get him to see Reid. We have a couple things in common. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, I'm not really available. And she said, he's not really available. I said, that's okay. I'll just show up in his office, and if there's a break in the action in between meetings or 10 minutes. And I sat in his lobby for 4 hours, and he never came out, and he never saw me, and I just went home feeling like an idiot.
Oof.
So, sometimes you have to be willing to have 2 or 3 of those, and then you get a break. And the meeting with Larry was my big break.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Last question for you. If you were to give advice to somebody that's looking to climb the ladder, get to these, positions of influence or leadership or what have you, and they are, call it an entry-level position, or just in a position that they don't feel fulfilled at, and they want to get to that next level, what are some advice that you would give them based on either your experience or things that you've observed? What would you tell that person?
I would just say put yourself out there. If you don't talk about your idea, it'll never come to reality. A lot of people are really worried about, if I say my idea out loud, I'll either sound stupid, someone will tell me it's already being done, or they'll steal my idea. And there's all this sort of self-consciousness around sharing your idea. But sharing your idea is the only way to find somebody who will say, I like that and I want to back that, or I want to be part of that and I want to join your team. And if you don't put yourself out there, you have a 0% chance. So, and then I find that if you just keep kind of falling forward, you make slow progress. You learn from all the mistakes that you made. Oh, I shouldn't be wearing this in a meeting like this.
Right.
Okay. Next time I need to have this slide in the deck. And you gradually, slowly get better. And it's only through just accepting that there's going to be a whole lot of rejection, a whole lot of abandonment, a whole lot of self-doubt, that you can get someplace exciting. So really, the best predictor of success as an entrepreneur is the ability to tolerate a lot of disappointment, frustration, and self-doubt along the way. If you can kind of sit with that, then you get to a place where you look back and go, wow, I'm an entrepreneur now. And that's pretty much the best advice I can give anyone.
And I think that is phenomenal advice. Just put yourself out there. It's almost like the lottery, unless you play.
That's right.
You're not going to win. So you got to buy a ticket. Well, Bryan, I really appreciate the time.
For sure.
And if there's anything else that you might think of, you just want to kind of shoot it over to us and let us know. But thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.